Welcome to another episode of PoddiMouths, where we talk about everything and nothing at all. Hey, John, how are you doing over there? You got your coffee in front of you?
I have my coffee. It's a little bit cold right now, but I got it. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing very, very well, sir. I too have my coffee, which is strange when it's 10 o'clock at night, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's not really 10 o'clock at night.
We are really in different time zones. I'm sorry. I thought we were closer.
Yes. Speaking of time zones,
Yes.
What is your favorite type of, do you drink coffee, John?
Oh, does a one-legged duck swim in circles?
I don't know, but I'd kind of like to see that.
I would too.
Well, random question. Speaking of ducks, duck, gray duck, or duck, goose?
Oh, goose.
Oh, seriously? It must be
Yes,
just a minute.
What is gray duck?
Minnesota, it's duck, gray duck. I'm sorry. That was what I had. Yep, it was duck, gray duck. Anyway.
You should be sorry. That's terrible. That is goose abuse.
Goose abuse. I like that.
You're welcome.
If you can't tell already, folks, today's episode is all about coffee, tea, energy drinks, and the Starbucks and the value of it, different coffee shops. We're talking about things that I absolutely love in this world. Christmas came around this year and a lot of the presents that I got had to do with my coffee making abilities. I got a new pot for pour overs, a French press, and, I'm all about coffee and I love tea. I've got some really cool tea
utensils.
Things. I got a bunch of tea utensils. So we're talking about things that I absolutely love. I don't know, John, do you love it as much as I do?
Look, I need to probably abstain from this line of questioning because you told me this episode was about sex. So now that I hear what it's really about, I'm just going to buckle down for the ride.
Well, coffee, sex, what's the difference?
There's a big difference maybe you're doing it wrong.
You've never had my coffee.
Nor have I ever had sex with you. Let's be clear.
Good point. Well, anyway, like I said before, everyone, welcome to the PoddiMouths Podcast. I'm Nick Kubik, and I'm here joined here with John Quaddy, and we're going to take you down the coffee, tea, energy drink topic hole, if you will.
Topic hole? Is that what you just said?
I just said it. I said it. I'm going with it. I've only had one cup of coffee today, people.
I think this is the problem.
Probably, yeah. I do. So I'm sitting up in my office right now, everybody, and I'm staring at my Keurig. I have a one serving Keurig up here too when I don't have enough time to make my pour over or work with a French press or percolator. So I might have to, if you hear that percolating in the background, that's why I need another cup of coffee.
That was actually a girl I dated in high school. We called her a French press.
I was going to say you called her a Keurig. That's nasty.
No, she was a French press. Yes, nice girl.
French press.
Nice girl.
Is that like a full court press?
It's like that, but it's completely different. Especially
that's hockey, right?
If you're at the drive-in movie theater, it's different.
Nice.
Yes,
nice.
You're welcome.
All right, John. So, what is your favorite coffee drink?
Well, you know what? So let's start for this because you know what, Nick, I'm with you. I love coffee and I'm kind of a purist, I guess, when it comes to that. When I go to Starbucks, for example,
hold on. We have to have there's a poll question here for our listener.
Okay, go.
For our fan.
Yes.
John just said, I'm a coffee purist. And in the same sentence, he mentioned Starbucks.
Starbucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So is he or is he not a true coffee purist?
Let me explain what I define to be a coffee purist. My coffee at Starbucks is the dark roast, sometimes a medium roast, and that's it. It's coffee. I do not ever order a drink at Starbucks where they write my name on the cup, ever. So what that tells you as a purist is if I have a caramel macchiato in my hand, I'm carrying it for someone else.
Right.
So when I say
go with
purist, I
that.
mean I'm just going to drink coffee. I don't, and maybe an occasional espresso. And say it correctly, please. It's not espresso, it's espresso. Sorry.
Thank you very much for clarifying.
Yeah,
No,
I want to make sure about that, just so we're on the same
people
page.
all the time.
Well,
I
people
correct people all
love
the
that
time.
when you do that.
It's
espresso, dummy.
I just offer them another coffee.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. So occasionally that's what I'll do. But that to me is the purist when it comes to coffee. So Starbucks, yeah, I can do a Starbucks. I can do, any of the other fast places that are going to serve you coffee. So, okay, go.
Well, okay. I'm just making fun of John, everybody. I absolutely love Starbucks. I am a big Starbucks fan.
Caramel macchiato.
My wife used to work. That was my entry. That was my my drug of choice when I started
it's pot.
Starbucks thing.
It's the pot of coffee.
It is. It really is. The gateway drug. It's the gateway drug.
Did you see what I did there? Pot of coffee.
I like that.
Yeah.
I missed that. I need another cup of coffee.
You do.
No, but seriously, folks, I love Starbucks. It's great when you go to a city you don't know, and I'm gonna totally, backhand this one, but, you go to a city you don't know and you don't have time to search out a new coffee shop and you know that Starbucks is going to have the same drink in Seattle. I'm using that on purpose, that it's going to have in New York City. So it's a great everyday coffee place. And I'm with you, with the exception of fall, where I do have to have my PSL, pumpkin spice latte.
You know what? I can't do that. I would agree with you. I will do more spiced drinks in the fall just because of the time of the year. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I will grant you that, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. But most of the time I'm the same way. Now I don't go with the dark roast. Now, let me ask you this before I get into what I usually get at Starbucks.
Yes.
Do you put cream or sugar in your coffee?
The answer is sometimes.
Sometimes, just depending on your mood.
It kind of does. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, the reason I ask is because I'm a blonde roast person. I like the lighter coffees. I think they're a little nuttier, a little tangier, not quite as bold, but I think it's really funny. And my wife does the same as you. She likes the dark roast coffee. But I used to make fun of her because she doesn't do this anymore, but she used to put a whole bunch of cream and sugar in the dark roast coffee. And I'm like, that is defeating the purpose of getting a dark roast coffee. If you really want that flavor, why are you putting cream and sugar in it? Get a blonde roast. Then you can add as much as you want.
And you can make an argument about that. Let me just tell you what, and I'll load your wife's lips for her for the next time you do that. What most people don't know is dark roast has actually less caffeine than medium and light roast.
I did not know that.
Yes, and that's one of those things that most people don't. And if you like a little less caffeine, but still like that darker or that medium roasted flavor, you can do that. But maybe you still want to then add some cream and sugar or sugar substitute or whatever tickles your fancy.
Maybe that's why I don't like dark roast as much, is because I want that kick in the butt.
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand.
Interesting. Right. She likes a lot of caffeine, and maybe she's just gonna have to change her taste palette.
She needs to go to the medium or the light. Yeah,
exactly. That being said, now I will venture, and if I'm feeling an espresso, I do. I think you're welcome. I do once in a while enjoy a good Americano, which is basically espresso and hot water. And it's kind of the tea of coffee, if you will. So I will go that route. But the other thing about me and coffee shops is when I do have a little bit of extra time and traveling as much as I do try to find the local coffee shops, the mom and pops, the very small, coffee shops and I will try one of their drinks. Normally I do a pour over, the first time I visit. And it's kind of like going to a Chinese restaurant. Every time I go to a Chinese restaurant, I order broccoli beef. Even though it's the same at every place, I judge a whether or not I want to return to that Chinese restaurant based on their broccoli beef.
Yeah, that's a really smart idea. Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I have one drink that I do at all coffee shops, and that's usually a pour over using their light roast. And if I like it, then I'll probably, I won't say frequent because I don't go to the same places all the time, but I will definitely go back to that coffee shop if I'm back in that same area. So
how does it differ? So I would think of a French press, which I own 2 or 3 French presses. Mm-hmm. And, to me, isn't it kind of the same thing, or doesn't it generate the same result?
It does not generate the same result. I also have a French press. French press, no matter what kind of coffee you use, is still going to be a little bit stronger because you're submerging the beans in water for 3 or 4 minutes before you press it down. So you're going to get a little bit more. You're going to get different flavors from a French press than you're going to get from a pour over. Excuse me, because the water doesn't necessarily stay in the beans quite as long, or in the ground quite as long.
Awesome,
so,
thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome. Now that's pretty much the end of my, did I mention I also have an espresso machine here at home?
You do not.
I do.
Like one of the $5 million Italian ones?
Oh no, I've like one of the $40, you buy at Target ones.
Cut it out. It's an expensive one.
No, I don't even remember. Okay. I've had it for so long, but
okay.
I use it once. I don't use it as much as I use everything else, but once in a while we do make some fancy drinks here. And so we go back to, excuse me, having the occasional, PSL, and the occasional fancy drink. When I do have a fancy drink, whether it's from Starbucks, another place, or when I make it here at home, I do try to limit the amount of sugar and, milk that we use. So we usually use a coconut milk. I usually have coconut milk at a Starbucks or something if I can, which is another reason to go to Starbucks, because most other places I go do not have coconut milk. Starbucks will always have coconut milk. And then I try to use very little sugar. If I make my own syrup here at home, I use honey instead of actual sugar. And that's how I sweeten the drinks. So they become a little bit healthier, because that, quite honestly, with those flavored drinks is always my concern is the health factor. Coffee itself can be very, very healthy.
You're an aficionado.
I try. Or I'm just addicted.
Yeah,
there's a difference between aficionado and an addiction.
But it's a fine line of addiction.
It is a very fine line of addiction.
But okay, so let's.
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about addiction here, and then move over to energy drinks, because I do think.
Well, that's where I was going to go, because I think that's what it speaks to when you say, "Am I really addicted to caffeine?" Or is it, and I don't want to get into the realm as an ex-smoker. I can tell you it's a different addiction. That's for sure. But we talk about how, look, anybody who's been a caffeine drinker for years knows that if I miss my caffeine, I get a headache. Do you get a headache?
A very bad headache. And to be quite honest, I do try to once in a while detox myself of coffee. So I will go a couple of weeks without drinking any coffee and go through the withdrawals. And then I'll start drinking coffee, on the weekends and not during the week, and try to, just kind of manage it that way. And usually, that goes well until I hit vacation. And one of the reasons I like it on the weekends is it's relaxing. It's fun to sit down, read a book, and drink some coffee. But when you go on vacation, that's a week or two of doing that. So then I get hooked, and then I'm drinking coffee again every day.
Okay. So now I'm curious. Do you ever drink decaf ever?
Once in a while, but I don't always like the taste.
Okay. So do you ever drink coffee at, let's say, after 3 p.m.?
Never.
Really?
Really. Because I will be wide awake all night long.
That's
now, if I'm trying to stay wide awake all night long, then of course I will. But if I know I'm going to bed, then no.
So I will, if we go out for a nice meal and finish it with a cup of coffee, I very seldom will do decaf. I'll usually have a cup of regular coffee. And even if it's 10 o'clock at night, I'll have one. And I don't sleep well anyway, typically. So it doesn't really matter whether I have coffee or not. I might as well enjoy the coffee if I'm going to be up anyway.
Right.
That's how I justify it. But so that brings us back to I'm at a nice eating place, or I'm at a restaurant or some establishment or a bar. Do you, and you and I, you probably already answered the question, unless you're drinking early in the afternoon, which I'm sure you don't do that often. Do you ever have a cocktail and as a mixer use an energy drink?
Never.
You've never had a vodka Red Bull?
No, I have. No. I have in college.
Okay.
But that was a long time ago. No, I've tried it before, but no, I wouldn't. Now going to a dinner or a party or something like that. First of all, you did say a nice dinner, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to step back and contradict myself. So go to a nice dinner, and you and I have had some nice dinners, and
we have.
We go out, and usually it starts with a pre-dinner drink, and you might, that I don't know what that might be for a lot of people, but it depends for me. Sometimes it could be a martini. It could be a glass of scotch. Mm-hmm. Then you go to dinner, and usually during dinner, you share a bottle of wine, and that's always nice. And then after dinner, you might have an after dinner drink. Like, for me, it could be, B&B or a Sambuca or something like that. And then with Sambuca, I think it's Sambuca.
Yeah.
You have the coffee beans. You have the coffee beans floating in it.
Sure.
And then, the last thing you have is dessert. And with dessert, what do you usually have? A nice little glass of espresso. So I will, and that's usually, I guess, so sometimes I will have a little bit of coffee before bed, but that's not a normal thing. You don't go to nice dinners every single night anymore. But I could imagine if I were in the age of Downton Abbey, that would probably be what I would have every night. So a nice dinner, that would be kind of the realm of drinks through the night, but I would never have a mixture of Red Bull and vodka or something like that at a nice dinner. Go to a club or a party maybe, but I wouldn't. You probably wouldn't find me at a place like that, and I definitely, if I were there, probably would not have that kind of mixed drink. I stick pretty much to beer if I'm in that situation.
I'm kind of amazed at how many, and so we might say millennials or we might say Gen Xers or whatever. But I'm amazed at how many younger people still subsist on vodka and Red Bull.
Vodka Red Bull.
It's amazing.
Or Jaeger bombs or Jaeger and Red Bull.
That opens up a whole different can of worms. But especially the energy drink thing. And there is, there are studies that have been done that, talk about how unhealthy that is and how bad just in general, it's just a bad choice. And,
I think in general, energy drinks are a bad choice, period, whether it has alcohol mixed in or not. Then again, this is personal opinion, but I have been at I was at one of the dealerships that I worked in once, and someone was carrying their Red Bull and accidentally spilled on the floor. And to this day, if I walk into that dealership, there is a clean spot, not a dirty spot, not a sticky spot, a clean spot on the tile that's 12 years old, where the Red Bull sat for 2 minutes and cleaned the entire on tile.
Oh my gosh.
It cleaned it. Oh. It cleaned it. And the grout is white in that spot. It couldn't have been sitting there for more than 2 minutes.
Wow.
It's crazy. I don't know what's in it, but
apparently
that's scary. Imagine what it's doing to your insides.
Well, and should be adopted by all dealership cleaning people.
Absolutely. That's what I say.
Yeah. Wow. That is, that's a little scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, and they used to say that stuff about Coca-Cola and, how it would just rot your gut and all of that.
Right.
I use Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper a lot more now in
clean your toilets?
Smoking meats.
Oh,
and doing barbecue.
Or making cakes. It's really good. It fluffs up your cake really nicely, too.
Is that a euphemism for something else? Hey, Bob. Bob, come on over here. Let me fluff your cake up.
Fluff your cake.
What? That isn't right.
Wouldn't you
I'm
like
sorry.
to know?
I didn't really seriously. I didn't know that about what I do know is a lot of people will use soda water in cake mixes because it makes it fluffy and so on. But actual soda, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Well, I think it has to do also with the sugar content, to flavor it. So if you use Coke versus Dr. Pepper, you're going to get a different flavor. But you still drink soda, huh?
I occasionally, not very often. And people will, there's always something that you can find fault with. Because if I drink soda, it's diet.
Okay.
And it's terrible for you and it will kill you. And, I have a lot of things vying to kill me. So I'm not going to, I don't want one to get pissed at me, versus another. So to me, if I have one a day, one every other day, that would be probably a lot for me.
Okay, good. I'll drink a soda once in a while, like if I'm flying. Yeah. For some reason, I just really enjoy, and I know it's because of the ginger in it. It's supposed to settle your stomach, even though my stomach never really bothers me on an airplane. I do like a ginger ale. I don't know why. And when we're sick around the house, we will have ginger ale in the house. Otherwise, we do not have any soda in this house. And we don't drink any. Besides that, once in a while, we have a ginger ale. So
it's delicious, by the way. And you're right. I'm the same way on a plane because we don't keep any in the house, right? Because we don't drink it very often. But if they have it on a plane, I'm with you. I've done ginger ale more on planes than anywhere else. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. And it just tastes so darn good. But I think that's with soda and with, energy drinks and things like that. I think part of it is, going back to the addiction thing. It's whatever they put in it, and it could just be sugar. Sugar is addictive. We all know sugar is probably one of the most addictive drugs in the world. Yeah. The number of studies that have been done that have said that every time you drink a soda like that, you just want more. You just want more. And that's where it starts. And that's where a lot of people, I think, get into trouble with soda and energy drinks too.
Well, and artificial sweeteners are much the same way in that from the explanation I've heard is that the body is expecting this sweetness and it's not getting satisfied with actual sweetness. It's the falsification of your expectations. And kind of interesting that it causes you actually to eat more, to take in more calories than if you hadn't had one of the artificially sweetened drinks in the first place.
Right. Exactly. And I think if we look at it from a health standpoint, so here's another side of it. And we've had energy drinks, we've had soda, we've coffee, tea, all of these things for a long time and sticking basically or mainly to soda and to energy drinks. I think with a lot of them, if you drink them in moderation, with everything. If you eat or drink certain things in moderation, I don't think anything bad is going to happen. I don't think you're going to get sick. I think it's one of those things. But if you want to take it even a step further, excluding soda, because there's a lot of stuff in soda that we don't know, but some of these energy drinks, if you look at the ingredients, there are a lot of healthy ingredients in these energy drinks. They're mixed with a lot of unhealthy ingredients. So there are energy drinks out there that have 2, maybe 3 ingredients that I think are fantastic. And I will drink those. And you'll find them in your health food section at your local grocery store usually. But I think limiting the number of ingredients and making sure that those ingredients that are on there are healthy ingredients, I think you're golden. I think drink as much as you want, drink as often as you want. But I like everything you put in your body. If you limit the ingredients and you do it in moderation, I don't think it's going to be unhealthy.
Well, and investigate what the ingredients are. I think a lot of times, and I know I'm guilty of this, I avoid knowing how many calories are in something, or I avoid, it's so unappetizing when I look at what is in some of this crap. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I find I eat much better if I know what's in them. So it makes, it's kind of a difficult, dichotomy, I guess. But, I'm with you. You got to read the ingredients. You have to read what's in them in order to know what to avoid and what not to avoid. And I think that's what it all comes down to. But what that leads me to is tea. And you've talked a little bit about tea and how you're also kind of a tea aficionado. I am too, or I could be way more, but green tea, black tea, always talked about as being so health conscious and just in general, we should all be drinking a lot more green and black tea. What's your take on that?
And don't forget the red rooibos. You got to have the rooibos.
You know what? Red rooibos was a guy that I went to high school with. We played basketball, I think.
Was he related to Roy Orbison?
He was. Pretty Woman, yes.
I haven't heard about the health benefits of black tea. I'll be honest with you with that, but plenty of green tea. We drink a lot of tea around here because what we were talking about earlier, why we don't drink tea or why I don't drink tea past 2 or 3 in the afternoon, or I'm sorry, coffee, is I'll switch to tea. And tea has a little bit less caffeine than coffee. And then certain teas won't have any caffeine at all. And in fact, there's some teas we drink just before bed just because it lulls us into a more relaxed state.
Sure.
And, you get something with a little bit of lavender in it and boy, you're out like a light. So,
like a lavender light.
I think like a lavender light.
Yes.
But I think one of the parts about drinking tea that makes it so appealing and really so healthy for you, period, is we know what the ingredients are.
Yeah.
It's basically plants. There really are very few additives to any of these things, especially if you buy the right teas. And you know what's in it and you know what's going in your body. And because of the limited amount of ingredients and the fact that they're made mostly of plants and trees and barks and things like that, it's healthy for you.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents.
Well, no, and it's a good 2 cents. And I think it's something that everybody, just in general as a population, we should drink more tea.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the simplicity of the ingredients or whether it's the fact that there are so many health benefits, and truly doctors will tell you this, and it's not just, people who are, looking for natural remedies and so on. It's not those folks exclusively. It's all doctors will say, yeah, drink more tea. It's going to be good for you. It's a better route to take than a lot of other things that you can put in your body. And there are so many. I still haven't heard of the red. What did you just say? The red roddy thing?
Red rooibos.
Red rooibos. I have never heard of that. Is that a red tea?
It is a red tea, yes.
Okay. And
I'd look it up. It's good for detox. It's good for inflammation, just like green tea.
So what's good about this stuff is you can get all toxified with your vodka and Red Bull, and then you can drink red rooibos and I always want to say Red Rover here, red rooibos.
Send Quaddy right over.
Rooibos. Then you can use that to detox. Really, what people have learned today from this awesome podcast is that you can take it from beginning to end. You can get all shit-faced. I can say that. And then you can clear yourself up just from what we've talked about in today's podcast. That's amazing.
Absolutely. We have come full circle on our health. I love our health, but let's talk about brewing tea. We haven't talked about brewing tea.
Fine, talk about it.
How do you brew your tea?
I use loose leaf, or actually am I saying this right? Like there are tea balls. There are little balls of tea.
You just wanted to say balls.
I did want to say tea balls.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I love playing tea ball when I was a kid. Not true. I'm too old for that. But yes, I'm a loose leaf guy typically. And so I do have one of those, it is a tea ball that you open up and you put the leaves in and then you screw it back together. It has a bunch of little holes in it. And then I just pour the hot water over the top of that. That's how I usually brew my tea and let it steep just a little bit and then force the steeping. And that to me that's how I mostly brew my tea. That's
how I do it too. We do with the lavender tea, like I told you, we do use bags there because it's just easy.
But
sure,
especially
for
late
the most
at
part,
night.
if I want to enjoy it, exactly. Yeah. But for the most part, it's loose leaf, and I actually have this. I think you'd appreciate this, so I could carry it on the road. I found this silicone cone, literally a cone that collapses into a flat disc. But you pop it open, it sits on top of your cup, you put your loose leaf tea in there, and then you pour the hot water over that until it kind of gets up there, and then you steep it in that, and it comes with a little lid so you can steep well. And then you pull it out and let it drip a little bit, set it to the side, and you've got your tea. And you just clean the silicone cup really fast, flatten it, and put it back in your bag.
Brilliant.
No, whoever invented it's brilliant.
Well, yeah, but you bought it.
I'm just a nerd.
Well, yeah, but at least you use it and it works.
True. Very true. So really quickly, rooibos is meaning red bush. It is a broom-like member of the Fabrici, something like that family of plants growing in South Africa.
Wasn't he in Lion King? Oh, that was Rafiki. I'm sorry. Never mind.
That was Rafiki. It could have been Rafiki. Maybe that's where they got his name. I don't know.
Could be.
So yeah, it's a tea that's grown in South Africa, which, we never did talk about where these things come from all over the world. Coffee, tea, soda comes, from all over the world too, I guess, if you really look at it. But,
they have a coffee. Do you know that they have a coffee that these, cat-like or bat-like animals actually ingest and poop out?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they use that pooped out product for coffee to make coffee. And it's part of the coffee. And it's some of the most expensive shit in the world. You're welcome.
Yes, I have heard of that. That's one I have not tried. What is there? There's one I bought it for my wife once just for shits and giggles, but there is one coffee out there that is the most expensive coffee. I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
Luwak.
I need some filler here.
It's called Kopi Luwak.
Give me some filler.
It's called Kopi Luwak. I already found it, so don't even mess with me. Kopi Luwak.
That doesn't sound right.
Yes,
though.
It is KOPILUWAK. It is.
Oh, you're getting that from Wikipedia.
No, I'm not. I'm on the website. It's on Kluwak.com. CLUWAK.com. How about that? Here's the price. 200 grams for $349.
Okay, yeah, that's very expensive. But that wasn't the
$474.
That was not the one I was trying to look up.
Kopi Luwak.
No, I mean, you're right. That is more expensive than the one I was looking at.
You were looking at a very nice Folgers or something. Was it a Folgers?
Yes. How did you know?
Folgers Stone Ground.
I might have to go into my Amazon account to look this up because I ordered it from Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm fancy like that.
Kopi Luwak or civet coffee refers to the beans of coffee berries that have been eaten and passed whole. Passed whole. That means shat out by the Asian palm civet, C-I-V-E-T, a cat-like animal which is native to South and Southeast Asia. Kaboom.
Wow, I just got kaboomed.
Well, not you. I was just in general saying kaboom to all those Kopi Luwak lovers out there.
Did I buy it? I don't remember if I bought it in 2018 or 2017.
Well, you should probably drink it by now.
I'm still looking.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's gone. It was gone in a week,
good.
Which made it even worse.
More expensive, yes.
So expensive. Yeah.
Eaten and passed whole.
I know. It's passed whole.
This coffee tastes like shit. I am saying that way more than I would want my mother or pastor to hear, so I'll stop saying that. Poopy. This coffee tastes poopy.
Poopy. That's poopy. Oh, there it is. Here it is.
All right.
Geisha coffee.
Geisha coffee.
Panama FST geisha coffee. Yep.
I hope that's not passed whole by anyone.
No, okay, it's not. Good. It's only grown in one place, I think. Let me pull up the Google.
So there you. If our fan is taking notes, I am sorry, fan, because these are not good. All he has or she has is something that says past hole. And
past hole.
Yeah, past.
Geisha is a variety of coffee believed to be originated in the Geisha village in Ethiopia. And it's not geisha like the Japanese geisha.
Yes.
It's spelled Gesha.
Geisha.
It is considered to produce a very aromatic and floral cup of coffee, and the demand for it has grown in recent years. It was imported from Costa Rica to Panama in the Boquete region.
How much?
But
How much?
I'm seeing
How much? What did you pay for it?
Hold on.
I want to know what you paid for it.
Oh, what did I pay for it? I got a deal on it. I paid for 12K cups. I paid $35
for 12K cups.
For 12K cups. So that was inexpensive. And there are a lot of different ones. Like the one I'm looking up right now is Geisha Village 2016 dry process 10-ounce bag for $85.
Okay, you're just a freak.
I didn't buy that one.
Okay, now you're back.
I'm back.
Wow.
Where did I go?
I don't know. Apparently it was to some geisha girl. Geisha.
Spelled
Geisha girl.
Geisha. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
we covered
anyway,
some territory, Brohan.
I love coffee. I love tea. Yes, we did. We really did. That was a lot. And I still only did that on one cup of coffee. Could you imagine how much more we could talk about if I had another cup of coffee?
I'm not sure we would be talking about more. I just think we would have done this a lot faster.
Very true.
Done in 15 minutes.
Favorite coffee shop? Besides Starbucks, favorite coffee shop?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I make mine at home.
Let's leave our listener with some recommendations.
Okay, you start.
There's a Piper Coffee and Tea Lab in Paducah, Kentucky. Produces some of the best local coffee that I've had in a while. I was a very nice guy. I think I believe he was the owner. Roasts his own coffee, and I tried some the other day that came from I want to say Rwanda. I always screwed up. It's an African country. And he didn't have any bagged because he was still experimenting with it. And I loved it so much that he actually grabbed a bag and gave me some that were sitting on the counter that he was using for customers. And I was very appreciative of that. A very good coffee shop. They also have a Turkish coffee, which I have not yet tried, because there's a long process to making it. But they have some interesting places, and it's in Paducah, Kentucky, which surprised me. Another great coffee shop that I have semi-frequented. There's a little. It's a coffee hut in Dixon, Tennessee. It's literally just a temporary building that you drive up to and go through. It's called Sunshine Coffee and Tea, and it's very, very good. Actually, I think I butchered that name.
Sunshine? How badly can you butcher Sunshine?
It's not Sunshine. I think it's something different. I haven't been there. I haven't been there for a few months. If you can't tell.
Okay. So let me do mine.
Yep.
Mine is Pyramid City Roasters. PyramidCityRoasters.com. Actually, right in my hometown, and interestingly, a buddy of mine who taught me a lot about roasting coffee. They roast it and get it to you within a week.
Nice.
And because I'm local here, I get it usually a day or two after it's roasted, and talk about fresh. Oh my goodness. So anyway, just a plug for them, and their coffee is terrific. That's what I get delivered to my house every week.
Very nice. Very nice. There's a coffee shop in, Martin, Tennessee. It's rather new, but it's a cute little coffee shop. They have great mugs, and they have I don't know where they roast their coffee. I don't think it's local, but it's they name it after things that are local to Martin, Tennessee. But it's really good. It's called the Martin Coffee House. Very nice. Very hard name to remember. And then there's a great coffee shop in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. They use Caldi coffee, which is from St. Louis. I love Caldi's. I went to college in St. Louis and frequented Caldi's, but it's a cute little coffee shop. It's right downtown off of their Broadway.
You went to Caldi College?
No, I went to Webster University.
Oh, okay,
it used to be Webster College, but
nice.
Right around there is a Caldi's. But anyway, this is a cute little coffee shop. Great pour over. I'm using the Caldi coffee, and I would highly recommend it. And the name is slipping my mind again, so I need some more filler while I look that up too.
Forget it.
Oh, you're not very nice.
This puts pressure on you. I like that because
put pressure on me.
While you're looking things up, you can't think of any other things to say.
Yeah, because I'm horrible at multitasking.
You're very good at multitasking. I've seen you sit in meetings and nap at the same time. I've seen that.
So, Mr. Quaddy.
Sir.
It is the other one that I couldn't remember. I said Sunshine Coffee. It's Cuppa Sunshine Coffee.
Oh.
Cuppa Sunshine Coffee and Tea in Dixon, Tennessee.
CUPPA?
Yep. Cuppa Sunshine. Yep. CUPPA.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. Highly recommend it. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram. All of them you can follow on Facebook and Instagram. That's another thing I do if I like them. I follow these coffee shops on Instagram and Facebook, which I will also do on our page for both Facebook and Instagram if you want access to any of the coffee shops that we've mentioned or any of the other items or places that we've mentioned in any of our podcasts. I think head over to PoddiMouths on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any of those social media platforms and follow us. Make sure to follow us and like us and all of that good stuff. And, reach out to us once in a while. Ask us a few questions. If there's a topic that you want us to talk about, talk about a lot of things and nothing at the same time, we'd be happy to do that.
That is us, my friend. Thanks, Nicky. See you, everybody.
Peace out.
Adios.